Hey everyone, I'm so excited today because we are talking about soul goals. Now, everyone knows what goals are. Everyone has goals, whether you have put them on paper or not. There is a part of you that has decided you want to accomplish something, you want to achieve something, you want to get somewhere, whether that's in life, in love, in business, in anything that you're doing. And we're going to really elevate that conversation today by bringing in this thing that's really near and dear to me, which is operating from a place of setting and then aiming for and achieving and taking action, all the beautiful implementation words, soul goals. And I will admit, this is about you being soul-led and satisfied. So maybe what I share here today doesn't align with you. That is your permission slip right from go to adjust, adapt, and totally activate what needs to be activated in this session and leave the rest behind. I am not here to tell you how to live your life, what to do, what not to do, or how to do it, but provide creative inspiration for you to truly access what is meant for you. Then we're going to step into how to operate from your guidance system, find joy in the journey, and acknowledging something that may be a little bit strange for you at this stage, but I hope it becomes really familiar and comfortable to you the more you get used to showing up in listening to Soul Led and Satisfied. We're going to make progress fun. Now, recently I was invited to speak in a beautiful community, and I stepped in as a guest speaker and I got to take over and run an amazing masterclass all on goals. And, no shock to anyone, soul goals in particular. Because when it comes to setting goals, I believe it has to come from a very soul-aligned place. I'm going to be using the word soul a lot today, so if that is annoying to you already, I just invite you to come to a place of allowance, of acceptance, and also already curiosity. Why is that word maybe a little tricky and icky when I hear it? Or maybe every time I say it, you feel buzzed, you feel jazzed. Let me know which one it is, because bit of a tangent, but when I started my journey, any talk of soul, I was like, let's be serious. What about strategy? What about structure? What about leveling this up so I can just get to the success, right? But on that journey, I very quickly realized that without alignment, without true integration of my intuition and my values and what was important to me, not just in an achieving external way, but very much in an internal satisfaction way. Without that, success doesn't mean much. And the pathway there becomes so much harder. When I stepped into that community, I really wanted to honor and own and communicate to them, because they were very much beautiful beginners in their businesses, stepping into embracing a lifestyle of freedom, of possibility, of potential rises in income, but also just that permission slip that I think we're all seeking when it comes to business, is to simply live our life our way. And I had to communicate to them. Well, I felt like I had to. It was my mission. It was my gift to say, when you set goals from a place of, I want this, no shoulds, no have tos, no cookie cutter, this is what everyone in my industry does. When you can get to that place, you're going to actually want to work on your goals. And 3 very pivotal pieces that I spoke about on that call, and I'm going to share with you today. You don't have to feel like you've missed out at all. I'm going to peel back the curtain and let you know the 3 vital things that really level up your goals and help you create soul goals that you're actually going to act on and you feel good about. And when you work your way there, whether it takes a week, whether it takes a year, or whether it takes a decade, you're able to stay devoted, simple, sacred, self first. Your ability to understand, connect with, and find true meaning and passion for your goals is going to be an infinite resource when it comes to drawing upon motivation and getting yourself in your office, at your desk, on your computer, putting things on social media, taking action, going to networking events, whatever it is you need to do in order to get to that goal. When they are simple, when they are sacred, and when you have put yourself first, it makes them so much more easier to work on. You get to be wildly successful and totally aligned mind, body, soul, and business. That's my promise here. If you truly, genuinely devote yourself to creating soul goals, you're going to walk away going, oh my God, I am not only seeing success in the making, I can feel that I'm creating it. I can really tangibly sense that I'm having a hand in this future that is being created. No longer being just swept back and forth by the whims of the world and the waves of the people around me, or the job that I'm in, or the 9-to-5 lifestyle, or the paycheck to paycheck kind of existence, but truly, oh my God, I'm doing this. How exciting is that? And that's why we want to be aiming for soul goals. If I haven't convinced you already, don't worry, we're going to get there. And I'm also going to help walk you through setting some of your own. This is your reminder to stop compromising and start getting clear as fuck on what your soul goals are. Are you ready? Let's do this. I want to start with where setting traditional goals goes wrong. What I view as traditional goals is that kind of, you sit down and you think about your 5-year plan and you write a SMART goal for everything. And if it can't be quantifiable, if it can't be put on a checklist, and if it's not comparable to what other people in your industry are doing, or what the gurus or people with a lot more success, or the appearance and the perception of success, when we view goals like that, they are so cut and dry. They are soulless. And that's not to say that you can't just genuinely like using SMART goals. Like, you totally can do that. But there's an invitation here to go deeper with the SMART goal, to go, where is the juice in this for me? Do I feel already that if I accomplish this, I'm going to feel fulfilled? Or is this a narrowing? Does it make me feel restricted? Like, there's one way to be right. There's one way to be successful. There's one way to get the results that I want. If I want to have that freedom laptop lifestyle, if I want to be an entrepreneur who gets to travel around the world and speak in front of different people and do all these cool things, that I need to follow a very specific path. They need to be able to expand, to be flexible, to be authentic, to truly resonate with you, because at the end of the day, we're not always going to be riding high. We're not always going to be super motivated. And there will be time where challenges come in and you need to go, am I willing to continue? And a SMART goal, the old traditional way, I'm not picking on SMART goals, but a traditional goal, it doesn't have enough juice. It does not have enough magic, and it won't help you keep going when the times get tough or you hit rock bottom. There's just not enough there for you. Also, when it comes to traditional goals, the pressure is on getting it right. If you're a perfectionist, a people pleaser, or simply someone who likes following rules, you will resonate with me on this one. I was there. I still need to make sure I'm not unconsciously falling back into it, on getting it right, nailing it down, being like, yep, that is the thing. Embrace that as you grow, evolve, and shift, so too will your goals. That was a huge mindset upgrade for me, to just allow myself to go, I'm going to do my best to plan out, to create a strategy, to identify my goals, to create a vision of my North Star as detailed as I can make it. And also have complete allowance, and also complete just trust and faith and acceptance that it's going to change. That is not a problem. It is part of the path. Weight off the shoulders. And if you still need convincing that the traditional way of setting goals isn't the best way of setting goals, look at your goals currently. How excited are you about them? Some of them might be a hell yes, and some of them might be a like, well, I have to do that to get there. I invite you to consider another way. So let's start talking about recalibrating for soul goals. The 3 things we're going to cover is using your inner guidance system, the 3 S's that I mentioned previously, and your energetic timeline. This is an activity I did on that guest speaking event, and I'm going to share with you here today in a bit of a shorter, condensed version. Learn to use your inner guidance system. This means, rather than seeking certainty, like I need to nail it down, I need to know it, I need to turn it into a SMART goal, I need to be able to prove to everyone else or anyone who asks, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, and this is my step-by-step hyper-masculine procedure to get there, allowing that your soul, your intuition, your internal guidance system, the part of you that feels beyond thought, that gets to be in the driver's seat. We're seeking resonance here, not simply reason. I'm a firm believer, and I teach this in Practical Magic, which just conceptually is around being very practical, which means we are strategic. We have a plan. We don't just hope our way to a future. We really allow ourselves to trust and have faith and work our way to the future. So practical in terms of it's all about action and implementation. But practical magic because we care about the alignment, the energy, the soul, and that you are seeking this full body fucking yes with whatever it is you do. And yes, you might jazz it up with actual magic or ritual or manifestation and routines and all that cool stuff. But at the end of the day, it needs to be a complement. It's not all soul and no action, and it's not all action and no soul. It must be both. The way to use your internal guidance system to set your goals is to give yourself some space to just connect inwards. If you're in like a head fog or you're overwhelmed or you're stressed out and you're really confused and you've got a million shoulds running through your mind, this is not a place to seek resonance. So the first thing you're going to do is allow yourself to clear the space, clear the energy. That might mean that setting your soul goals is the thing you do at the start of the day. Before you check your phone, before you jump on your email, before you start responding to people in Messenger, you're going to create the space, limit the input. You may wish to meditate, pull some cards, do whatever it is that gets you in the zone. And you'll know what the zone is. It's that relaxed state where you feel open, receptive, aware. And if you can, really bring in a little bit of curiosity and wonder as well, because even at the start of setting soul goals, we're open to being surprised. We're open to the wonder of what's going to come through. You may want to put on some music to facilitate that as well, whatever works for you. So seeking resonance, and as you start to think about your future and what you're working on, what you hope to create, just allowing anything that comes up and comes through, and that feels like a yes, that feels like curiosity, that feels expansive. Write that down. Allow yourself to get into the state. And even after this, we're going to project forward into the future for a moment. Think about those times when you're sitting down to work on your goals. And maybe it's in a month and you've already set the goals and you're sticking with them. And then you're like, oh, I want to adapt or change, or what do I do for my content this week? You get to reconnect and go, well, what's in alignment? And your resonance plays a part there because you're going to get these nudges of like, ooh, I really want to talk about this thing, or this might be the time I share that, or finally, I'm really feeling that the time is right for me to act on this other plan that I had. So your resonance is something that helps you set the goal and then steer towards the goal continuously. Let's talk about the 3 S's. So that was simple, sacred, and self first. I just believe that all of our goals should be simple. And actually, as much as possible, everything in our life should be simple. Simple means clarity. If you are not clear on your goal, if it is not simple, it's complicated. And when things are complicated, they're harder to do. Next, we talk sacred. Now, for me, sacred means many things, but it's again connecting to that resonance, connecting to the full body yes, not just the head yes, and allowing yourself to really come from a place of faith and not just a place of fact of like, I've done this before, so I know it's possible, but allowing yourself to dream bigger, tap into that expansiveness, and allow it to be as magical as you like. Just because you haven't experienced it yet doesn't mean it's not possible for you. And when you start to dream bigger than your past has defined, that is when true magic happens and truly the life you are trying to create. Last, we have self first. You might have big responsibilities, family, people that you're looking after, employees, people that rely on you, like your clients and your customers, and all of this. Yes, yes, yes. And I know you care about them. I'm not asking you not to. But when it comes to setting your goals, really setting the foundation of your future, you need to be in the driver's seat. What do you want? What do you desire? What matters to you? If we skip this at the start, we're going to skip it later, and then you create a life and a business which may or may not be successful, but will never be your version of success if you are not there right at the start, right at the foundation, right within the goals themselves. All right, I know we've been talking about a lot here, but I want to help you get connected to your goals. When I was doing the class, I talked about an energetic timeline, and I'm going to very briefly go through that with you here. Because another big problem people have when they set goals, whether they're soul goals or traditional goals, is they sometimes reach so far forward into the future that they disconnect from the now, disconnect from the power, and really just end up throwing things out into the ether and then never bothering to go get them. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is keep you anchored to your goals. So your energetic timeline is, simply put, how far ahead in the future do you feel that you can remain connected to your goals? In the past, I've been asked to set a 10-year goal, a 5-year goal, a 3-year goal, and depending on where I was at the time, which was a lot less clear than I am now and a lot less soul-led, I had absolutely not only no idea of what I wanted to do in 3 years' time, but it felt so far away that, I could just pull things out of nowhere and they meant nothing. What I mean by that is I could do my gosh darn best to have a really juicy, detailed, great sounding plan on paper, but I wasn't connected to it emotionally. I wasn't connected to it energetically. And I didn't even sort of believe that it was possible, which meant when I went to go work on achieving those goals, there was no substance behind my action. I didn't really believe it. I didn't really feel it. I didn't really stay connected to it. And then as soon as any stress, disruption, or even lack of motivation came in, you can bet I jumped ship. I followed some other dream. I created something else. I conveniently forgot my goals and just, didn't really take action on them. So I don't want that for you. What I invite you to do, and maybe this is something you do after today's episode, whatever works for you, you might even just, it could click into place as soon as I say this. Imagine a timeline. And here's you now in the present. And I just want you to drift yourself along that timeline. 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, and you just keep going until naturally, intuitively, magically, you feel yourself at the end of your reach, the end of your tether. When I've worked with clients in the past, this could actually be like 2 weeks' time, or maybe 2 months. Or for you, it could be a whole 10 years. There is no comparison here. It's whatever you are energetically attuned to in this moment. And as you get clearer and you take more action, you get more confident, all these different things, that might change. So you're welcome to check in with this as often as you like. But when you find your energetic timeline limit, that's how far ahead you set your goals. Just to make a little point here, your North Star, your big vision, sort of the end goal of like why you're creating your life and business this way, that's probably like way into the future. This isn't the conversation we're having today. This is about setting very specific goals that you can stay connected to and attuned to. You might still have your North Star and it's like 10, 15, 20 years out. Beautiful. But as we all know, that's not enough to keep us on track sometime. Feels like a wishy-washy dream in our lower moments, or even just something, a beautiful fantasy that will one day get there. That's not really getting us, working and implementing what we're desiring to do. So this activity today is just about setting the goals that are helping you head in that direction. This isn't saying that North Stars aren't necessary or you don't need to have a big vision. Of course not. Do that work, have a vision board, have fun, dream big. But when it comes to creating a goal, creating a plan, and taking action, let's just stay within the realms of where you're connected and then update them regularly. Especially if you realize you're reaching the end of that energetic timeline. Great time. You're like, I've got a couple weeks to go or a couple of months to go. Sit down, do this activity again. So once you've got your energetic timeline, within that timeline, just ask yourself, what goals would I like to set to have achieved by the end of this time? Allow it to come up. Because you're working within a timeline that feels connected, that feels safe, and that feels certain to you, you're able to be a lot more specific than if it's just throwing it 3 years into the future and it landing on nothing solid. Something we must talk about is staying connected to your goals. So we've already done a lot of that work by using the energetic timeline, making sure that you're not setting them too far out into the future. That's awesome. That's going to really, really help, and you'll notice the difference. Let me know if you do. You can tag me on social media, you can send me a DM, you can write a post about it and share it with me, whatever you need to do. I'd love to hear from you. But beyond that, I'm going to give you a little bit more advice around how to stay connected and on track to your goals. This is simple, like all good things, is finding joy in the journey, having an energy, a perspective, and a priority of discovery. This is like an adventure. You've packed your bag with all the things that you know, all the things that you think you'll need, and once you step onto that path and take your first couple turns and you're over a hill and you're doing all these cool things, each and every step is new, is fresh. You're going to realize things that you didn't even know at the start, and that's going to help you adjust and adapt and evolve and grow and change and all these beautiful things. But finding joy in that. Celebrate the surprises, the small wins, the unexpected occurrences and coincidences that happen along the way. When you release something, realize you are now more clear. When something comes in to surprise you, that's a reason for celebration. Find the joy in the journey, in the small ways, every day. At least once a week, pause to reflect. What has happened? What can I celebrate? What can I be grateful for? Your ability to stay grounded in gratitude, to stay connected to celebration, and to really honor and own the small steps, not just the achievements, that is going to keep you going more than anything else, because you will see and you will feel and you will know and you will train yourself to look for the things that are working. It's not always easy to do that, is it? You're like, yeah, I know I should celebrate, or I should have a gratitude journal, or maybe I should talk about it in my communities or with my friends, and should. Because this has been probably a point of contention for so many of my clients, I feel like sometimes I'm like just prodding them and being like, what are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? What do you have to celebrate? I thought rather than doing that, especially if you're not working with me personally, or I'm not in your DMs, or you're not in one of my closer communities, though of course I would love to have you come join us in the Soul Led and Satisfied membership if that's in alignment with you, or work with me privately one-to-one. But I realized I wanted to give a gift to everyone to help you stay on track and stay celebrating and honoring and owning the glorious progress you're making. So I created a low-cost downloadable. It is $8 Australian. I don't know what that is in any other currency, but I'm sure you can Google it. But $8, what you get is a workbook that helps to dive into the power of tracking your energetic investments. Goes into a lot more detail in the booklet, but basically all the things you do matter. And even if today you don't receive a paycheck or a new client or you sell a product, the work you're putting in, the time, the effort, the energy, that social post you did, the plan you made, the goal you set from your soul, all of these are energetic investments telling the universe, hey, I'm depositing in. And one day, I know this is going to be paid back to me in clients, in income, in money, in opportunity, whatever it is. So you get a workbook, some printout sheets to help you with the activity, and then also an abundance meditation just to juice it up a little bit. You can listen to that every day or once a week, however often that you need it. I'll pop the information below for the downloadable, though if you have any questions at all, feel very welcome to reach out. We've talked about soul goals today. I know I've thrown a lot at you, but the glorious thing about a podcast is you can just re-listen to it. You can even speed it up or slow it down depending on if you need to, or simply pause and work through it at your own pace. But this might be something that you want to revisit, or at least take some time after today's episode, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, to sit down, sink in, and set some soul goals. And if you feel inspired to share this, I would absolutely adore that. If it's on social media, feel very welcome to tag me at nikki.waters.intuition on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, probably somewhere else under that name. And the final thing I want to say today is, for all of this, it might be new, it might be big, and it might be a little bit scary. So here is a permission slip, and I'm actually going to write this permission slip into the show notes as well. If this aligns with you, take it. If it doesn't quite fit, create your own and then share it with me. So here's the permission slip I've created for you today. I give myself permission to grow, change, and evolve my goals throughout the journey as I seek to stay in full alignment, mind, body, soul, and business. Beautiful. All right, enjoy setting your soul goals. Keep me updated with them, and I'll see you on Friday for our Beyond the Magic episode.